Kamloops means meeting place in the language of the indigenous Shuswap people. It has long been a location where people gather together to celebrate life, to sing, dance, create, and give thanks for the gifts provided by the land, nourishing the physical and spiritual needs of its people. The natural beauty and wonder of this river valley has inspired the human imagination for thousands of years. This video tells the story of only the last 50 years, the history of the Kamloops Arts Council.
There's a lot of reasons that the arts are important to the community. When you think about, what kids need to grow and develop some form of the arts for self-expression, and I think that needs to continue all throughout life. What works for one person doesn't maybe work for another. We see that really powerfully in our Crossing Bridges outreach program, where we're working with people who are living on the street, people who are dealing with abuse, people who are dealing with addiction recovery, and art gives a very powerful means of self-expression and healing.
From the very beginning, the Arts Council has worked really closely with the City of Kamloops when they started a few decades ago, and that partnership has always been really important.
Well, I joined the Arts Council, it would have been sometime in the early 1970s, let's say for argument 1973. Already it was a small organization, and it was a group of people who had got together to bring in musical concerts.
Well, I think the Arts Council is intricate to being part of the whole arts community within Kamloops.
50 years ago, things were much different than they are today. Our culture is constantly changing, adapting to the needs of the people. Through the 1960s and 70s, the arts flourished. Federal, provincial, and municipal funding was allocated for organizations supporting the arts. Through artistic expression, community well-being was sustained. The arts took center stage. From out of this crucible of creative energy arose the Kamloops Arts Council. Its members had a common purpose: to bring the arts to our community.
Engaging the people who want artistic opportunities, supporting artists on the ground, and that kind of thing.
And the Arts Council, they're that group that kind of bring it all together.
When you can impart your talents to someone else, and they succeed, it's very gratifying, and it couldn't work out into a better scenario. It was awesome to put it here. It was with a lot of pride from our families, from the public, and even from the people that, like City Hall and the sponsors for this project. They all fell in behind it to have this thing. This was winning the gold in the Olympics.
I took a bit of a position with the Arts Council as one of their outreach artists with the Crossing Bridges program.
Oh, these young people, they're going to make it, and maybe you aren't going to make it to CBC or MTV, but you have that recognition in your community, and there's a family of artists there to support you.
There's a lot of very good talent here in Kamloops, and so giving the young people a chance to shine, I suppose, was one of my objectives.
Moving forward, I'd love to take on larger projects, given that same creative freedom, and use inspiration from business owners or individuals around the city, cityscapes, landscapes, things like that. So I guess me moving forward as an artist, I'd like to continue on this path, taking on larger projects that challenge myself.
In the Arts Council, we started to do Music in the Park. It was a big success, and we grew larger and larger, which was great. To see in the Toronto Star that Music in the Park is one of the top 10 things to see when you go to BC. We've had great success over the years. Things have gotten bigger and bigger and better, hopefully, and we move into the future.
And Art in the Park really took off when we partnered with the City of Kamloops and the Kamloops Multicultural Society and moved the event to Canada Day. It's been going on for over 40 years now. The Kamloops Children's Arts Festival in September is also a really great project that we do every year. And Art Exposed is a community exhibition we do each March. We also have the Crossing Bridges Outreach, which takes arts workshops to social service agencies, so youth, children, youth, and adults, as well as seniors. and a number of other events and programs throughout the year, and you can see all of it on our website.
The table was set many years ago by some dedicated and courageous volunteers. The health and stability of community depends on a vibrant and inclusive artistic scene or milieu. This common set of values and beliefs includes the importance of the arts in our everyday lives. Engagement in artistic activities strengthens a sense of belonging. These opportunities were delivered to the diverse groups in the region by the Kamloops Arts Council. It was through this vision of a bright and exciting future that the arts have been sustained over the years.
To be able to go to places like the Makerspace and have someone, you know, really see that talent in you and remind you that you're still that artist inside and there's still a lot you can do. There's a lot of spaces here in town for that.
The Makerspace is affiliated with the Kamloops Arts Council. We're just down the road from them. The Kamloops Makerspace is part of a sort of worldwide movement of people banding together into collectives, either non-profit or not, to create facilities that people can come together, pay a membership, and share space, tools, skills, and ideas.
It's very nice to see this 50th anniversary project of the Kamloops Arts Council being done here at the Makerspace, because this really is a facility that's all about providing space and tools and support and whatnot for these kinds of projects.
We would love to recognize an emerging artist every year in this process and give them that stage, that big stage where the mayor is recognizing their work.
It's been really good. I've watched some artists come up and they're really strong and creating powerful work. And I hope throughout the future as this goes, programs like this continue, projects like this continue, exhibitions like this continue, because that's really how we're going to move forward as a society.
Music and art and theatre, crafts, if we took these out of our lives, what a barren life we would have.
The Kamloops Arts Council has evolved through programs and events in the community. Part of the success of the council is attributed to exceptional leadership and funding from corporations and government organizations like the City of Kamloops, Tournament Capital of Canada. However, without volunteers, these institutions would not be able to maintain the levels of enthusiasm and support necessary to sustain operations. The Kamloops Arts Council has delivered art to the people of Kamloops and region for the last 50 years. Much of the work is done by artists and volunteers. It is to the creative spirit of these ordinary citizens that this video production is dedicated. Congratulations to the Kamloops Arts Council, its staff, artists, and volunteers moving forward through the next 50 years together.